question here. Reverend Slim says, I think MB's handling below the transition was one of the best things that came out of the closed beta. I think so. So thank you to the folks who were part of the private beta. Did you see this part, Aaron? This thing that we do? It's called Unified Soundfield. So we have different EQ options where we can EQ each speaker, right, to have a flat response.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Near field. Okay. We have a global target where all the speakers sound the same at your main listening position, but that's what everything else does, right?
Yeah.
Makes it sound the same there. But then we have a unified EQ where, see, this is a per channel, right? So these are all the speakers here in my room.
Yeah.
They're all the same exact speaker, the Monolith THX compact satellite.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I EQ those so that they're flat near field, well, the one in the corner is still going to be affected by the bass.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So they still will sound different, even if I EQ all of them to flat near field. So we came up with this method where we find the actual transition.
It's like magic.
Yeah. So we find the transition region where the sounds start to diverge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we blend the two. So it's not like a direct like on and off, right? It doesn't like, oh, here's the splice point.
Right.
But so near field, it's correcting the near field response of the speakers. And then it begins to blend to this unified bass response.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like that
so
idea.
Instead of this, then your EQ starts to look like this, where the near field response of each speaker is corrected, but the bass still will sound the same where you're sitting. You don't want it to sound all different. You know, when Sean is moving from one side, you don't want him to sound like Chipmunk over here, and then
that's how he sounds.
Moving. And you want it to be Toad, Sean.
Luther Vandross when it goes to the height speaker. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm moving.
I thought that was cool.
Inside your room.
Directivity detect. That's kind of a cool little thing that we figured out. Yeah. Well, we already know that you can't EQ certain parts, so we try to discover where there are some directivity mismatches, and we say probably shouldn't try to correct that area.
Yeah.
So lots of smart things going on here based on stuff that we already know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big ups to everybody in the beta. You guys in the Discord.
Do you sell the mic with Magic Beans? No. So that's actually something I wanted to talk about. We recommend the UMic one just because it works, right? It works with your phone. Everybody has one. It works. It's reliable. But you can use a less expensive device like the Dayton IMM6. I believe it's like a little tiny mic. And it's you have to plug it in with a headphone jack. I think they have a new one that's USB, and they're inexpensive. A little bit less accurate, I would say. And I don't know if it's going to work on every single thing. Like, it might have an issue with your phone. These are things we don't know. But that IMM6 with a dongle, it works. I've tried on several devices, and it works. So if you want to save some money, you can go that route. And just be ready to return it if it doesn't work for your device. So, what else? First time ever experiencing a target curve EQ for my speakers.
Oh, yeah. So,
hopefully that's good.
So, hold on. This is his first comment.
Oh.
Can confirm I am hearing new sounds in movies I've watched before a dozen times. First time ever experiencing a target curve EQ for my speakers, like custom.
Yeah, very cool.
That's what it does, man.
And what's funny, I think I remember looking at his calibration because for the folks who are part of the public beta, there's few enough where I can do a little extra and I'll take a look at their curves and see, exactly what's happening and maybe make some other suggestions to them. But I think his had less treble response, right? Normally you think, I hear more detail. The first thing that pops into your mind, like, it probably boosted the treble a little bit, right? No, it actually reduced the treble, but you still have more detail because it sounds like it's supposed to. So.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Any more Magic Beans? I'll just knock them all out real quick.
Magic Beans ones. Let's see. Shilling. Handle subs. How does Magic Beans handle subs?
Okay, so a question I get is, if you have multiple subs, how can we calibrate all of them? We can only calibrate a channel, right? So if you have a sub out, single sub out, and you have 20 subs connected to it, we can't EQ each sub. That may be something we'll do in the future, but for right now, what we recommend, let's say if you have 4 subs, you connect a single sub out to a mini DSP 2x4 HD, and that has 4 outputs. Let that mini DSP make the relationship between all those subs correct. Time alignment, phase alignment, levels, frequency response, and get yourself a flat response at your listening position. And then what Magic Beans will do is it'll provide a target curve from that flat response, and it'll adjust that response, right, as a single unit. So we don't do each sub individually, but that's it. We do a single sub out.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Has Magic Beans been used on the Kef Blade 2 metas, Aaron?
Oh man. If it did anything, if it
I don't even think it would
a little bit.
I don't think I would even need it, man. That's how great they are. Actually, the bass is too strong on those things, man. They could probably use some EQ
reduction
down some.
Actually,
isn't that like a breast reduction? Okay, we need the horror.
The horror, yes.
We need a bass reduction. Slapping the engineers in the face.
The test for Magic Beans is if it tries to do any EQ to the high frequencies, like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But if it doesn't do anything, it's like,
yeah,
maybe he's doing something right here.
Van asked Magic Beans tutorial. I might make one again. Depends. I still have to do a Yamaha one, so we'll see. We still gotta test that.
All right. So other ones, Scottio.
Will Magic Beans work on the Dragon?
I don't know what they allow for you to adjust.
I don't think it's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot. I mean, it's more than any kind of like soundbar, but it's not a whole lot.
Probably graphic EQ. Maybe reach out to Nakamichi and tell him, hey, we want some Magic Beans import on this thing.
Yeah.
Scottio wants to know will an Omni mic with a calibration file work?
Yeah. So we can load any text-based calibration mic profile.
Any text-based calibration profile.
Which is pretty much all of them, right?
Oh, yeah, for the most part. Kyle, the Shilling has worked. Looking forward to trying out Magic Beans once the U-Mic and the spatial audio toolkit get here.
Ta-da!
You guys want to know the secret for, about Shilling? I'll put it out there. I'll put it out there.
Do it.
The secret is not even saying something like extremely good about it, right? Although that's one aspect, but just the fact that you're talking about it, right? The fact that you're talking about it, that already is promotion. And that's kind of why I don't really want to do videos on stuff that really sucks. Because if I talk about this thing that really sucks for 10, 15 minutes, people will still buy it because I'm talking about it. That is my reasoning. So that to me, that's what it is. The fact that we're spending time talking about Magic Beans, this is Shilling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay, I kind of answered this one. Joe, how would I handle dual subs with Magic Beans? I answered that. Let's see. Mike Jerome says, can you use the global export on the Pro version and just put in export custom bands and Q factor in REW? I don't know why you'd need to do that because we export already, directly to PEQ. So you don't need to take an extra step.
Mm-hmm. That would be adding an extra step, right? Yeah.
What about EmoQ, which has more PEQ bands for the fronts? So that's one use case for this custom PEQ is you would just set it for the parameter.
Export it, and then reset it for the other ones that don't have as many. Is that how you have?
Yeah, we do have an export for Emotiva. We had to make an adjustment to it because the file names weren't correct, but we have an export that you can just directly import, and they have the correct parameters already. So. Make sure to join us every Monday for our live stream at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/Daily HiFi.